Hello, hello. Ignacy Trzewiczek, Portal Games. Welcome at PortalCon Online, our online convention for the first time in English. With me on the chat, with you, Mary, my wife, almost in the camera. Hello, hello. This is a seminar. This is a, please. This is a seminar with stories about designing detective. Before we start, any more noise and any more distractions? Ready? Thank you. This is live stream, guys. This is thing. So, welcome everybody. I see 60 people, 70 people. So you are joining. So let's give everybody 2 or 3 minutes before we have everybody who is interested in the seminar. This is we already did the announcement, so we started pre-orders for Detective Season 1, we started pre-orders for Empires of the North, we announced a new app from Portal Games Digital, we announced a new case for a detective called Petty Officers, we announced a new expansion for 51st State, so this is what happened a few hours ago. Then I played Robinson Crusoe. I don't want to spoil for those of you who missed that and may want to watch it later, so there was a tough fight, tough struggle. And you're able to see it later if you want to rewatch it again. Then we had a contest for you, charades, and it was super fun, even with our illustrator doing funny drawings for you to guess games. And now we are in this more serious moment. You won't believe it. Like we are preparing for recording this video. Everything was fine. We are live. My wife just moved for the 3rd time. Thank you. So, back to the point. 75 people, greetings from Poznań. Thumbs up for the video, thank you. Questions, will there be a Detective Season 1? It depends on the sales of Detective Season 1. So it's obvious we do games if you want to buy them. If there is a demand, there is a design. Will there be any spoilers to Dig Deeper? No, there is no planned spoilers in this seminar about Dig Deeper, so you can watch without any fears. Greetings from Chorzów, very close to our headquarters. What's the time? How much? 3 minutes. 2 more minutes of warming up before I start the seminar. So if you're in chat, let me know how are you doing. 80 people, so more and more people are joining the stream. We are here for you, so be with us. After me, we have amazing event. You will see finally Joanna Kijanka, my developer, fighting a new army for Hiroshima Hex, troglodytes against Captain Eric, Captain Link, who is our Twitch person. Marek, can you start the Twitch movie right now? Just click and make it. Twitch ad with Eric. 30 seconds. Okay. So for all of you who want to watch live streams, who want to see our team preparing you some content, you can sign up for our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/portalgamesus, and we stream every single week, every single day. There is new live stream from our team. We have lots of amazing content for you. The question from 48KB, there will be spoilers. There will be spoilers in the seminar, but don't worry, I will warn you. I will explain the rules for this seminar in a moment. Let's just wait for more people to come, so I will not repeat myself over and over and over again. You are ready? Yeah. So this is the ad, this is the advertisement for our amazing Twitch channel. Let's see that.
That's 5 damage. 2 more. Y'all, it ain't Monday no more. It ain't Monday no more. Woo! We got it now. We got it. Man, here's what I'm scared. I just got the, I just got the fear in me. I just felt it. My heart fluttered. I think it's gonna happen. You would be a fool not to drop the bomb on my double tap on my old Predator. Don't kill the Predator now. Don't kill the Predator. Come on. Come on, Mullet. Keep your bombs to yourself. gummed up no more. I forgot. Look, this guy right here. Oh, he's got initiative 2, and he took out my net. Oh, no. Well.
And here we are. My wife Mary just moved again, so everybody who was with us from the very beginning understand the situation. There's a lot of chaos here, but she finally left the room, so maybe I will have chance to focus. And the video you watched, this is Captain Eric. This is the amazing contributor for our Twitch channel who runs live streams for Neurosim Hacks each Monday and each Tuesday. And in an hour, he's going to challenge Ignacy Trzewiczek from Portal Games playing Troglodyte. So she will kick his ass. I promise you that. I hope I'm right. Anyway, back to the seminar. Welcome. We have 100 people watching, so we are ready to start the seminar. So many questions already on the chat if there are any spoilers. So I divided this seminar into 2 parts. The first part, no spoilers whatsoever, and the second part, there will be spoilers. My wife is here again, so let's wait. Yeah, that's awesome. Done? So the first part of the seminar is spoilers free, and then I will announce that now I'm moving to the spoiler section of the seminar, and some of you who don't want to have spoilers will just tune out. So this is it. We have with us Steven Bonacor. He loves detective, so this why he's with us here. Still have to watch with no sound. I think he just said we are all troglodytes. There was no sound in this video. I don't know. Anyway. Ready, focus, start. The first thing about designing detective and developing detective, the first story has to be dedicated to playtesters and the very awkward way of playtesting detective, because with regular games, as we playtest them, as we develop them in-house, we have our playtesters in-house. We can playtest Empires of the North or Robinson Crusoe or another game over and over again, and I can play with Ignacy Trzewiczek 20 times in 1 week and playtest the thing. Here with detective is a different situation. If I playtest with Joanna, she knows the story. I have to move to another tester. I playtest with Marek, I playtest with Greg, I playtest with Mark, and that's it. And then I have to look for the new playtester. So this was the game that was playtested by so many new playtesters who contributed to the project, who playtested the game for me. And there were friends of Damian, there were friends of Marek, there was a lot of people involved. The people whom I don't know, I never met them personally. And the funny part is that I was like a creepy game master in many cases. They were playing at their home, and Marek was Skype calling me, and I was there listening how they play, and I was this creepy designer who was listening to these dudes, and they were playing. Of course, they knew that I am here, but right after the bat, they forgot about me, so they were talking about the discussion, they were solving the case, and I was listening like a creepy neighbor through the Skype and making the notes. Because back then, when we were playtesting cases, there was no Antares website, and all the Antares files were in the Google Docs. There was a situation when I heard them saying something. I was figuring out that we have a mistake in the database. I was logging into Google Docs. I was changing on the fly some documents, and then I hear them through the Skype that they are logging to these documents as well, and they see me changing on the fly the document. And I just hear that the whole room burns in the laugh, because they see, okay, the designer is just updating the file, and on the fly I was making it. So it was a very awkward way of playtesting the game. Me on the Skype, creepy designer, and people playing the game with this guy in a different house waiting for the finish. I also listened to many MP3 files, so there were some playtesters who were just playing at home and then sending me MP3 file, and I was listening to the test and adjusting the case. So the first story from Detective, creepy playtesting. That was part of the process, and still is. We still playtest like that. We didn't find out a new solution. I need to hear people playing the game, and therefore I'm listening. The thing that is we have to give respect and kudos to the to Grant Rodiek, designer of Cry Havoc. I met with him many times, but this important meeting was BGGCon 2015. We were promoting Cry Havoc back then at BGGCon. And we talked about the games, and he told me, Ignacy, knowing you, knowing what type of games you like to design, knowing what type of games you like to play, you definitely need to check out the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. And I never heard about this game before. I made a note to myself. Grant said I need to check Sherlock Holmes. I trust Grant. So I came back to Poland. I bought the game, and in December, during the holiday season, me and my wife Mary, we played Sherlock Holmes at home, and we absolutely adored and loved the experience. It was like mind-blowing experience for me. Absolutely different game than all other games at my home. Storytelling, deduction, thinking. We had the game set up in our living room for the whole weekend, and the children were not able to use the table. There was no able to eat the dinner. The table was ours. We had all these newspapers from Sherlock Holmes. We had all these mind maps, notes, and we were reading and thinking. And it was one of the most amazing experiences in terms of the gaming we ever had. And therefore, of course, out of that, things happen. And a few months later, I started working on Detective. So, if not Grant Rodiek at BGGCon 2015, if not a recommendation to try out Sherlock Holmes, probably there would be no Detective. I would never heard about this game, and I would never play it. So kudos to Grant Rodiek. Without him, you guys would never play Detective, because I would not be inspired by Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. The one thing that we never publicly said, but I think now at PortalCon with a live audience, we can finally reveal some of the mysteries, some of the secrets about the designing game. We had a major issue with the game a few months before release, not weeks, but like 2 months before sending it to print, when the game was ready, when the game was finished, when the game was translated into English, and we were preparing files to print, and there was like some weeks only left. It turned out the translation was terrible. So what we did as a company from Poland, we are not native speakers in English, of course. We wrote the whole game in Polish, and then we hired the translation company, the whole company that does translations, to translate it into English, because we needed it done right. So they translated cases. We sent these cases to our friends, native speakers in America, and the feedback was brutal. This is terrible. You cannot read that. This translation sucks. And we are already promoting the game. I'm already ready with marketing. We have all the plan. We have all the production prepared. And the feedback is, Ignacy, this text, trash. You have to kill it. You have to destroy it. And this translation sucks. And that was a moment of panic. That was a moment of serious major issue. And this is the moment when Luke, you know Luke, he just ran a contest for you. Chevy, you will meet Chevy in 2 hours when he does another seminar, and Vinny, who help us at conventions. Three guys just sit, and for enormous number of hours, weekends, nights, evenings, all days, fixing, checking, editing, changing. We changed the translation office. We started working with different company, and believe it or not, we are so close to miss the whole release. To have these translators just destroy the whole release. Apparently, they gave us a not a good translator. We paid a lot of money for this translation, and it all basically went to trash. And Luke, Chevy, and Vinny saved the day. Rewrote or re-edited the whole thing from the scratch. Enormous number of hours, insane effort, and I have still in my phone I still have a text message from my friend from Chicago, Tony. You may know Tony because he runs the website Board Game Quest. Amazing website, check it out, boardgamequest.com. We are friends for many years, and when Chevy, Vinny, and Luke edited these cases, I sent to Tony some of these materials and asked him, is it better now? What's your opinion? Should I postpone release and move to the next year, or is it okay? And Tony read the edited materials and sent me text message, we are fine, they did a great job, you can release it. And here we are, later the game was released, the game received all these 30 awards, Spiel des Jahres nomination, etc., etc. The whole project at some point was on the back of 3 people, 3 friends of the company who saved the day. And without them, there will be no detective in 2018. So this is the story that we never shared because it's terrible. It's terrible, but it happened. It really happened. For a few weeks, it looked like we have no detective ready. How's chat?
Chat is very good.
Chat is listening?
Chat is listening and discussing.
Okay.
But they are talking about bundle kits to buy detectives.
Hello, I'm talking amazing stories. Focus. Speaking about my wife, also one of the stories that were never shared before, but today we are at PortalCon. Today we are sharing stories with you. We had a huge argument in December 2017. Yes, it was Christmas time, holiday time. We had case number 1, tip-top ready, play tested, and I wanted to show it to Mary, the final version. Mary played the first case, and she absolutely hated it. And
because it was historical one, and I do hate history. Even if this is second war, I do hate history.
No
in Second
spoilers,
War.
no spoilers.
Yes, but
be
still,
careful.
I
No
do
spoilers.
hate history. So it was not for me.
We had a huge argument at home. Mary said that she can bet with me, and she wanted to bet with me that this game will end up like Rattle Battle Grab the Loot on a sale in every single game store on the planet. And she said I should never release this game. This is a terrible idea, and I'm stupid. And
Once in my life, I was wrong.
And I said, you're wrong. I'm doing this game. It's gonna be amazing. And this one time I was right. We bet, yes. She was so sure.
Did we? No,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did not.
There was a bet. I remember that. You said
And
you bet that it will end up like Rattle Battle. I was right, but the argument was fierce. And yeah, this is the one time in your life, dear husbands, when you may disagree with your wife and you will be fine. But don't try it too often. You have only one chance in your life to be right when you discuss with your wife.
This chance, so do not.
Yes, I used my card. I was right once, and this is it, right?
That's
never,
enough for all your
never
life.
again. So yeah, that's a terrible prediction from Mary about the detective ending up like Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. She said, "It's another stupid game of you." She was wrong. On the bright side, on a more serious note about stories about detective. Not all of you know, and I think this is once again good seminar to mention that, good seminar to state that. These past few months were very difficult for the whole planet with COVID situation. We know how terrible, how difficult, how terrible, yeah, this is the word, terrible. It was in Italy when the COVID hit extremely hard. And in this whole darkness and in this whole horror that happened in the world, I'm so happy and so grateful that detective did something good. And we saw it in so many interactions with you. We saw it in so many interactions on social media. And the most epic example comes from Italy, the country that had the most difficult problems with COVID. And when we were talking with a publisher of Detective in Italy, he said that the whole game kept this company alive. Like sales of Detective kept strong. People shut down at homes because of the COVID. Were playing Detective over the Skype, over the Zoom, and somehow in these terrible times they had a chance to smile, they had a chance to interact, they had the chance to meet the family over the Zoom, over the Skype, and Detective helped so many people in these past few months survive these difficult times. And I'm so grateful for you that you are sharing these stories. I'm so proud and happy for the whole team at Portal Games that we did this game. And I'm so happy to know that somehow, in some regard, we helped our publishers, our friends in Italy, and also in France, where these games were selling like crazy during this very difficult time because people were shut down at homes, and this was one of the very few ways to play board games over the Zoom, over the Skype. So kudos to the whole team. I hope the COVID situation will end. I hope we will get all better now and back to work, back to regular life. But in these very difficult times, in these horror times, Detective did something good, and I'm very proud of what we achieved here. So kudos to everybody who played Detective with their family and had the chance to interact with them during this time.
Coś więcej na temat tego Modern Crime części, Modern Crime w tytule. Że jak to się ma do tego, że jest Modern Crime w tytule, ale tak historia toczy się trochę odnośnie...
So the question is why the main plot of the Detective starts with the story of World War II, and the game is called Detective Modern Crime board game. Of course, it is called the Modern Crime board game because the action takes place in the modern times, because you are using a website like a FBI agent, you are logging to the Antares, you are getting these DNA samples, you are matching these DNA samples, you are doing these signature materials, you are doing all this fancy stuff. With no too many spoilers, but in different cases, there are video materials, there are audio materials, there are all these technical tweaks and gadgets and cool things in the cases. So yes, this is the modern times because it takes place in the modern times and use modern technology. The fact that the whole plot for the base game of Detective stands in the events from the World War II is just this amazing, brilliant design from Przemysław Rymer, who created a storyline that takes place over the almost 60 years, and this is absolutely brilliant, brilliant design. But yes, this is definitely modern board game because you are using modern tools, that is Google, that is YouTube, that is Antares website to solve the cases. So these were my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, half of the stories that had no spoilers involved. And
I'd like you to explain why Steven is still with us.
Steven loves Detective. Steven loves to listen to the stories.
That's the reason he spends time with us all the time?
Yeah, he wants to hear the stories about Detective. So now the second part of the seminar, we are in the middle of the seminar. So now I'm going to do spoilers. So for all of, and let me just check. Spoiler for the base game, spoiler for the base game, Suburbia, and so if you haven't played the base game of Detective, if you haven't played Suburbia case, now I need to ask you to leave the stream because I'll be giving out the spoilers. For all of you who already played the base game, all of you who already played Suburbia, stay in the chairs, stay with me and watch. So do we have anybody leaving the seminar, or everybody already played? More people joined, and that's dangerous.
There's a question about trying to brand Detective with some famous cab series, TV series like Law and Order or Criminal Minds.
Guys, Detective is an amazing game that on one hand has a success in terms of the business, or in terms of the sales, in terms of the awards, and so this is a successful product. And on the other hand, we all love design new cases, we love write new cases. So the future for detective is bright. We will release more games, more spin-offs. Right now we are doing Vienna Connection. If we will do in the future some IP games, we will see. I believe everything is possible. Sky is the limit. So let me tell you this. Thank you for supporting Detective. Thank you for playing Detective. I strongly recommend to pre-order Detective Season 1 from us and get this amazing book that I wrote. 80 pages of stories about the designing detective. So everybody who pre-orders from our website, Detective Season 1, will get for free this 80 pages book with the anecdotes and stories about designing Season 1. And yes, keep supporting the game. Please recommend this game to other players. Please recommend this game on the Facebook groups and Board Game Geek. And the more players, the more customers, the more content for you. And in the future, we will bring more and more and more. Here I have with me, just to show to the camera, the script for Vienna Connection. So this is Vienna Connection, the base script, the plot written by Przemysław Rymer. So yeah, we have a ton of things for you in the line, and we only need you to help us promote, and we'll be fine. Ready for the spoilers? So once again, now I'm doing spoilers for the base game of Detective. So if you haven't played the base game, please now cover your ears or leave the stream for a moment, because now spoilers are coming. So the first spoiler, Marek was involved with that, and only Marek and only Rafał, only two of my employees. Marek probably remember. The first draft, the first version of Detective that we received, the case number 1 and 2, you know these two cases from the base game. In the first draft from Przemysław we received, it was one case. So now you can imagine everybody is just terrified when they start playing Detective and they see this 3 hours big case number 1, and then this 3 hours epic case number 2. At the very beginning, it was just one case. And I remember I was sitting with Marek, and a week later with Rafał, and we were starting playing after we finished the work, so it was 4 p.m. And around 8 p.m., when Marek was completely unconscious and didn't have clue what's going on, we said, okay, so we already played 4 hours, you are not even in the middle, you have no clue what's going on, because there's too many plots, too many clues, too many facts, and we have to do something like that. Yes, in the end, when we were developing, when we were learning about the whole system, when we were playtesting, I decided to take this all insanely complex case, cut it into the half, and here we are, case number 1 and case number 2. Back then it was case number 1, but I was lucky to find this one moment when you nailed down the story, what was going with the watch, and we could cut it in the middle, and then the next part is catching up the bad guys. In the first draft, it was just one epic 5-hour-long scenario. You can imagine you would probably faint playing it, and you would never play the next scenario because you would be afraid. So I believe it was a good decision, and I did it right. But Przemek, the writer, he was insane with so many facts in one case. Speaking about cutting off the content from the game, I'm very sorry to say, spoilers ahead, once again, spoilers ahead for the base game of Detective. I'm very sorry to say that I had to cut off from the case number 4 quite a big chunk of the content, few cards, few lead cards that were dedicated to Richard Delaware. So your boss in the Antares, your boss is a very mysterious person, and this is not a random boss. He is involved with this whole plot. He has a meaningful place in the story. Przemek Rymer put him in a very important places in the whole plot line. But once again, the case number 4 was already so full of plots, so full of clues, so full of information that we had to decide what to do, and I had a very difficult time, but I decided in the case number 4, this is most important for you to understand the base plot of the case, so you can find in the last episode the killer. So the whole side quest, side information, who actually is Richard Delaware, why he is working for Antares, how he found Antares, how he get money, why he's doing that. It was just a side quest. So I took it and I ripped it off. So I'm so sorry, but we had to do this decision. We think we will put this back at some point in some form, I don't know, game book or like a story or something like that. So when we will celebrate, I don't know, 5 years anniversary of Detective or anything else, we will bring, because it is written, it is designed. I just had to rip it off from the case because there was too many facts. But I saw on Board Game Geek, and Marek saw it as well, there was one user who figured out who is Richard Delaware, even though I could almost everything. But I left some sentences because I was not able to code everything. And from these scratches, from these small sentences, one of you figured out everything.
Maybe it was Marek.
It was not Marek. There was other user. So today, just spoiler alert: Richard Delaware is not a random boss. He is involved in whole this plot line. He's very important part of this whole puzzle. But I just killed all the clues. But I will bring them back one day. So look forward for that.
It will be zombie detective or what?
Yeah, it maybe we'll design it like a DLC case that you dig who actually is Richard Delaware. For sure, I can assure you that there is a ton of meat there. Like Przemek prepared this and he put him in the middle of this whole plot. So it will be very interesting for you to dig in that and discover. I see the question here that Yoda is asking, how many fan-made cases have you received so far? 0, because writing a case is freaking difficult. I recorded a special video. If you're watching this video and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because I post a ton of videos about design, about creating games, and one of these videos you can find in the past videos on this channel was 7 steps to design a case for detective. That was the title. Do I remember correctly? 7 steps to design a case.
And I remember I received email from somebody. I don't remember whom. He asked me about program we used to prepare detective, to create detective, because he was sure we have very complicated computer program to create the scenario.
Yeah, it is called Paper and a Pen. This program, and a ton of time. So creating a case is a few months of work, more than one person. It's insane amount of work, and we don't expect that any fan will be so crazy to design. Maybe somebody will design at some point, but this is hours, weeks, months of work. So we don't expect that. Do you have any ideas you'd like to implement into future cases, expansions you were not able to include in the first? Ask Andrew. Yes, we have the whole internal forum for our company, where we put all these ideas from TV shows, from books, ideas for the cases, ideas for the plots, ideas for the clues. So as I said, as long as you support detective, as long as you promote detective, as long as new expansions are selling well, we'll continue to support this line. We have a ton of ideas. So be with us, pre-order season 1, please play, dig deeper, promote it, tell your friends that it is amazing, and as long as we can release new expansions because they are selling, we'll continue to bring new amazing things. And yes, we have a ton of content in the form of the notes and ideas. Go back to the spoilers, I guess. Yep. And yeah, and one more thing. Believe it or not, but the whole plot, Richard Delaware and all these things that you know from the base game of Detective, there is also some reference to that in Vienna Connection. Because Przemysław Remer, my writer and my close friend, is freaking crazy. And he creates so amazing multi-layered plots, and he makes so many amazing clues that even playing Vienna Connection, you will have some references to the story from the base game of Detective. This is how good writer he is. Go back to the spoilers. Let's discuss case number 3. So one again spoiler about Detective. Detective case number 3 was inspired by Marek's friend, Marek's testers. Like he was playtesting the game, I was listening to the feedback, and some of them said that they really enjoyed experience. It was after playing case 1 and case 2. They really loved the experience, but they said that there was not enough riddles. Like they would love to have it like more like an escape room with some riddles and quizzes and puzzles. And I was reading to this, listening to this feedback, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea to make one of the cases more like an escape room, and therefore the case number 3 in the script from Przemysław Rymer looked much different than the final one that is in the game, and the whole beginning of the case. So the tracks, the bridges, the islands, all this jazz was designed by me after the feedback from the testers, and it was like one afternoon. Like I remember precisely, I stayed in the office longer after listening to this feedback. I was really like on fire, and I made all these clues, all these riddles, all these interesting things. And the next day, Kuba and Marek, I don't know if you remember Marek, I took you, both of you, and I said, I have this, let's play. And it was not working because they were not finished, but you said, I remember you or Kuba, I don't know, I remember one, you said, I know what you're going to have here when it is done. Like you understood what I want to achieve here. So the whole case number 3 invented after the feedback from the playtesters for case 1 and 2, and basically done in one afternoon. And then of course the writing, etc., etc. But it was fun.
It's not so hard to design.
If you're on a fire, you can do it in a few hours. But you have to have a brilliant idea. And the case number 3 remains one of the most controversial. Some of you hate it, some of you love it. It was not planned in the first script from Przemysław Rymer. It was feedback from the playtesters.
I think the funny stuff also happens when during playtesting, because I've noticed it's completely different when you playtesting with women and with men. And I remember one playtesting with Olga, and there was in the scenario was a map included, so we didn't go there. So we were so surprised why you didn't go to the map, and we told you the maps are boring and we hate it. So it was experience for you too, I think.
Yep. Bill asked, is Detective solo able? Absolutely yes, because it's a cooperative game, so you can play it solo. However, I strongly recommend play with your friends, play with your wife, play with your family, over the Zoom, over the Skype, or at home, because the brilliance of this game, the moment that you feel like this is amazing, is the brainstorming. It's like you are discussing about theory, you are thinking, you are brainstorming, and you're at some point, yes, I know what happened, and you have this enlightenment moment. So for these moments, it's amazing to play. So of course you can play it solo. The famous designers like Zig Garcia said in the review that he played solo LA Crimes. Luke Hector from Broken Meeple also said in the review that he played it solo. So absolutely you can play it solo, but I strongly recommend find friends, find a family, your wife, whatever, and play with somebody, because it's amazing to play.
Find your family, find your wife.
Find somebody to play with.
Find the wife, that's easy.
We have, yes, I have 5 minutes left, so I need to speed up. Let me tell you a funnest story from the convention GrandCon. I was at GrandCon, small convention, but super amazing atmosphere, lots of great players. I had a great time there, and I was running demos of Detective all the convention long, like every 2 hours, new group. So ton of tests and tons of fun stories from the test. So now I'm going to give a story about Suburbia case. So if you have not played Suburbia case, please cover your ears or just tune out for a moment, because this is a spoiler for the case Suburbia. Everybody is I see casual group. Even my wife isn't big on the long games. Guys, for the casual gaming, Detective Season 1, each case takes about 90 minutes, so it's very fast, it's immersive, it's amazing, it's fun. You must have it, you must try it. This is no-brainer. Like, you will love it. I guarantee it's amazing. So, and with pre-ordering from us Season 1, you will get this amazing book, how I designed this Season 1. So you will have a great time reading and playing, you must have it. It's amazing. Back to the topic, story about the Suburbia. Spoilers ahead, be careful. Convention. When you play the convention, you play with random people. Like you are just going to the convention. I say, do you want to play? He says, yes, I want to play. And you sit, and you are sitting with 4 people. You don't know these people. You just say, I'm Johnny, I'm Tina, I'm Marty, like whatever. And you see these people for the first time. And this is a risky situation because you never know who you end up with at the table. You don't know these people. You don't know what they are approach to life and think about politics, etc., etc. And I had this amazing moment when one of the players figured out what happened at the crime scene, and I'm going to spoil it in a moment, but he was afraid to say it aloud to not offend other players. So what happened? In the Suburbia case, as you remember, there is a dead girl found in the house, and there are signs that she was fighting, struggling. She has some scratches on the body, like there was a struggle, fight, before she was dead. And this guy, I don't know if you watch me. If you watch me, I remember you. It was amazing. Respect and kudos. He says, and I see him like he's thinking, struggling, and he wants to say something, but I see that he's like not sure if he should. And at some point he says, okay, I don't, and he goes like that. I don't want to offend anybody at the table. Please don't be offended. I don't want to sound sexist. Please forgive me if you feel like that. But I just want to say that if this girl was attacked by the man, he would just hit against the wall, and she would be dead. And there would be no fighting, no scratching, no bullshit. And everybody at the table just smiled. I smiled, and everybody was like, you are right. And the moment like he was so afraid to say something quite sexy that if she's grabbed by the man, he just hits her head against the wall and she's just dead and there's no fighting. So he did a right deduction. He solved the case basically in this one sentence, but he was so afraid to not offend anybody at the table because he played with the people he didn't know. I thought it was cute. I thought it was amazing, and I will remember it for a long time. Him struggling and thinking, should I say it aloud to solve the case, or should I shut up because I don't want to offend anybody at the table? And so this is my story from Grand Con and Suburbia case. I look at the chat. The chat is on fire. 80 people watching. So I said too many spoilers. Probably people just escaped. And the last story from Detective, the last thing that I will remember forever, is Dice Tower Con and the first public presentation of Detective. And I remember precisely the first day we had 2 tables for demoing a game, and it was quite busy. The next day we had 3 tables busy all over again and all the time because the gossip, the rumor about the game spread around the convention. The third day we played on 4 tables. I had no components left, so we printed in the convention center just on the regular printer the cards. I made with my pen just a board. I cut out the tokens, and it was like a prototype version of the prototype. That was like insane, and people were playing over and over on 4 tables, and the lines and signs up, and everybody was asking to chance to play Detective. And it was the moment when we knew, me, Luke from Portal Games USA, we knew that we have a hit. Like in 4 days from the not very popular game at the convention, we end up after 4th day with the lines of people waiting to play Detective, and we knew that we have a hit. That was true. When the game reached the market, when the game reached you, it was absolutely amazing, and the game was successful. So I will remember forever this Dice Tower Con when more and more people were learning, and it is the perfect example that if you do a great game and if the fans talk about this, you will be successful because people will do organic marketing. They will talk about this game, and that's what happened at Dice Tower Con. So here I am for you. I have no time left. 5 minutes. Can I have 5 minutes? So last 5 minutes because we have to finish the stream. So we prepare the next stream. So last 5 minutes. If you have any questions. Broken Meeple, Detective Anecdote. I remember 4 of us being invited to a hotel room at UK Game Expo to try out Detective. Of course, having Ignacy invite us to a hotel room was suspicious enough. So at UK Game Expo, I contacted reviewers and asked them if they want to see a secret prototype. And indeed, I was just inviting them to my hotel room, and they were at my hotel room, reviewers, and playing the game. It was amazing. I have to admit that after these 2 days of demos, because they were playing one case for 2 days, each reviewers. I have like eight groups of reviewers scheduled for 2 days. So after these 2 days, I hated this case. Like, I heard these cards read over and over again. I hated it. But the experience was amazing. Seeing reviewers excited, doing the voice acting. The most brilliant for me, as I am not native speaker, was British players from with the British accent, voice acting American accent, because the action took place in America. So for me it was like mind-blowing hearing people in the room talking in a British accent and suddenly switching to American accent when they were reading cards. Amazing experience for me. I will remember it forever.
And maybe you also remember Gen Con, when the security guys came to ask to close the door because we had some guys dedicated with uniforms.
Yeah, cosplay.
Yeah. And the people were scared because they were sure that real policemen came and something wrong in the room. So.
If you could have any copyright to use as a theme for an expansion standalone detective, what property you would want to use? I wrote an article some time ago that the most obvious and tempting IP is, of course, X-Files. Having X-File case would be amazing. Who knows? Maybe one day we will do it. You never know. It was very new for me, but it worked out well. I love a noir type theme, but that probably doesn't fit the modern experience. The modern Sherlock was fun to me, but also not quite the same fit. Guys, as I said, this is game for you. This is game for you to explore, the game to you experience. And if you will continue to support it, if you will continue to buy new expansions, promote it, share with your friends, we will continue to bring you more and more content, because we have ideas, we have energy, we have new notes for the new cases. Thank you for being with me. I hope you enjoyed these few stories from Designing Detective, some dreadful, some funny. Hopefully it was interesting for you. If you are for the first time at the Portal Games YouTube channel, please consider subscribing, because we do a ton of game designing videos. We had Rob Deview talking about designing LA Dig Deeper. We had me discussing working with Rob Deview. We had a ton of interesting videos, so please subscribe to us. If you like this video, please give us a like on YouTube or anywhere else. And if you're enjoying this whole PortalCon online, please tell your friends, send text message, send a Facebook message, send a tweet message to your friends. Hey, there's an interesting event, come over and enjoy with us, because we want to have as many people as possible here. And now, after I finally shut up, you will be able to watch.
Just imagine Scooby-Doo detective.
Now, 10 minutes break, and now you are going to watch Eric, Captain Eric, and Joanna Kijanka playing Troglodytes, and then board game marathon, and then other things. Enjoy the convention, stay with us, PortalCon online. Marek shows me that I need to shut up. Thank you.